In today's module, we are going to speak about responsible, sustainable leadership. To my mind, when we assume leadership roles, these are perhaps the two most critical attributes of being a responsible leader and a successful leader. When we climb up the corporate ladder, as we move up in our seniority roles, and we assume those aspects of the company where you need to show by example what the entire organization should do, we understand more and more what responsibility and sustainability mean in conducting our leadership roles. There are many aspects of leadership, but these two particularly we will focus on in this module, simply because, to my mind, and you will see this as you rise up in your seniority levels, that the more responsible you are, the more responsible your company is, the more sustainable your company is, you will add so much of bottom line to your value content, to what your organization stands for, the kind of perception that people have, your customers have, your shareholders have, your stakeholders have about your company. And in order to be able to do that, you need to understand that your company actually works in a society, and that it's not about just the financial bottom line, where of course quarterly results play a part, but much more than that. Who are your stakeholders? What do you mean to society? And that a successful company can never exist in a failed society. This has happened over time because society's expectations about your company have grown. Today, there is a great amount of societal pressure and expectations from the company in which you work. And therefore, when you assume a leadership role, what must you keep in mind? There are, of course, a whole host of things, but in this module, we will focus on responsible leadership, responsible, sustainable leadership. This module will also focus on two important recent developments. One, of course, is CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility, which focuses on what companies need to do in order to address their societal tasks. How can they actually contribute to the society in which they operate? How can they contribute to the members of that society from whom they actually derive those profits? How can they benefit that society whose members are literally those for whom you live and work, those from whom you derive your profits, those for whom your company actually works? And the second aspect, and this is an important one, is about the Sustainable Development Goals. As many of you might know, the United Nations had started what we now know as the Millennium Development Goals at the turn of the millennium in the year 2000. This was a 15-year time span in which countries of the world, 192 of them, set targets in education, in health, in livelihood, in training, in their responsibility to the planet, and to achieve those goals by the year 2015. And to some extent, the countries of the world united to try and achieve those goals. At the turn of the year 2015, the United Nations sat down again and decided that for the next 15 years, they would now flesh out these Millennium Development Goals into what we now call Sustainable Development Goals. Those 8 items of the MDPs have now become 17 items of the Sustainable Development Goals. Broadly speaking, what does this mean? It means that when we get into our leadership roles, we report to our boards, we chart out the course of the company, we must at all times keep in mind that there is a planet in which we operate, and there is no planet B. There is just this one planet in which we live and work and survive and breathe. It is up to us to understand that we owe to our successors, to the next generation, to those who will come after us, to give to them a healthy, sustainable planet. And part of all this is not just about the atmosphere. It's not just about the ozone layer. It's not just about the carbon footprint. What we need to ensure is that we don't harm this planet, that we don't create products that actually deplete the ozone layer or give us greenhouse gas emissions, that there is a life under the sea to which we are responsible, that we should not dump plastic waste in the oceans. There is a life above the earth that we must always be responsible for, and we must be aware at all times, right from you as the leader to the last person in your company who understands this vital aspect of leadership. And you as the leader must make it the DNA of the organization. You must bring it into the bloodstream of every single employee. It's only when they understand that it's not just about the product that you make, it's about how you make it. It's not about just marketing or selling. It's about being understanding about what you are selling, what you are marketing, and the impact that all of this strategy will have on the people, the planet, and everyone around you. That is the topic that we will address today. That is why this topic is so vital for you. That is why when you become the leaders of tomorrow, when you are in the driving seat, you will chart a course that will make sure that your company, your employees, your board are conscious of what you do for and to society.